Which basic knowledge did you totally forget for a moment? My age, starting in my early 20s. Or so I think. Ooh. Yes. This one. Most embarrassingly, it happened when I was going to a casino for the first time. You had to be 19 or older to enter. I was with my dad. So the guy at the front wasn't too worried and just asked me to come for monsieur. I tried to say, yeah, it's fine. I'm above 19 inches, but it came out as I'm 19, which wasn't true. I then tried to correct it to, I'm 20, which was also not true. I was 21, so I gave him 3 different answers in one awkward sentence. Shockingly, the guy asked for my ID. Edit. The rest of the story isn't that interesting. The guy, I'm monsieur, going to need to see your ID. Me, already reaching for my wallet. That's fair. He then confirmed I was 21 and an idiot, and let me in. Other edit. I really didn't want this comment to get this much attention. Not long after my daughter was born, I took her to a meet-up with friends. I put her car seat next to another baby in the group. Then, sitting down, I asked the mom across from me how it was having twins. I completely forgot that one of those babies was mine. Greater than I asked the mom across from me how it was having twins. That's when you shout, no take-backs, and run away. No proof of purchase. I was just starting a new school in 9th grade and had to write an essay about myself that the other kids in the class would read. I forgot how to spell pants and wrote pants. I was ordering hot wings at a local barbecue joint. I was wondering if they still came with the fibrous green vegetable but couldn't remember the name. Ended up describing it to the cashier and she looks at me weird and says, "You mean celery?" Quote, "UGGGHHHHH. Yes, that's what I meant. That's when you speak with an accent and pretend English isn't your native language. IESSA longa green crunch stick. Mate, you're here every Friday. I know what you sound like." Quote, EESAA taste weird. Likey a sheet but nicey a sheet. Do you want what you have every Friday night? Quote, yes, please. From henceforward, celery must only be referred to as longa green crunch stick. The word scissors, mid-surgery. Normally we call them mets. For Metzenbaum scissors. But we had a new student as the scrub tech and I went to ask for mets. Asked a few times. Tried to remember the word scissors. Failed. Referred to them as snippies and did a little finger scissors motion. Looking like an idiot in front of the doctor. At least it worked and I got my scissors. Edit. Wow, thanks for the gold and silver. Tied a tie for church one morning. Nice. Symmetrical knot. But I got it a little too short on the first try. No big deal. I always do that. I'll just tie a dag. Wait. How do you even tie a tie? Had to YouTube it after having just done it literally the moment before. Once something becomes mechanical memory, it's hard to deliberately recall it. I have forgotten my PIN code a couple times because I've had it for so long it has become muscle memory. Then one day I'm standing there in front of the ATM like a dunce. Somebody asked me what day of the week it was. So I lifted up both of my hands to see which made an L. I am dying. This is just wonderful. I'm so sorry for your loss. How to spell if was unclear on where the V goes. I whispered into my wife's mouth once. To be fair, she kept her mouth open to listen to me. Edit. I posted this further down. But like this. Greater than less than. 3-0. Me and my wife. I almost laughed out loud when speaking in a second language. How to say literally every single word of the entire language. And it happens at the exact moment that someone asks me a question. Every time. When I was a senior in college, I spent several minutes longer than I should have thinking that onion was spelled the same as union, and wondering how people could tell the difference in writing. If it makes you feel better, I read both of those words as onion, and was very distressed until I realized that union is a different word. Unions have layers. I was out boogie boarding in the ocean when it started raining. No thunder. And you're wet anyway, so who cares? But I put my board over my head so I can see a bit better. And I notice the sound of the rain hitting the board and think, wow, that sounds just like a rain stick. The rain sounds like a rain stick. Asterisk asterisk Jane asterisk asterisk. All I got was that dumbass stick sounds like it's raining. How come you got a wife? Well, my days of not taking you seriously are certainly coming to a middle. I forget what a washing machine is called at least once a month. I end up calling it a clothes washer out of desperation. People laugh at me every time. To be fair, it's a more accurate name. Removed. I hear yours sometimes and present you mine almost always. Every internal dialogue reaction is in English, despite not really using it outside of video games I play. Go figure. Confused my colleagues a few times by answering, "What's that?" if they ask me something while I did not really pay attention to conversation. Same, by now saying what I actually mean is much easier to say in English. How to tie my shoes. I just sorta spaced out and stared blankly for a few seconds, wondering what in the hell I was supposed to do. Musical note. You make a loop-de-loop and pull musical note. And your shoes are looking cool. You go over and back, left to right, loop-de-loop and you pull 'em tight. Like bunny ears or a Christmas bow. Lace 'em up and you're ready to go. If I'm running up the stairs or down the stairs and suddenly think, how am I doing this? Walking becomes manual for a second and I fall. It turns the autopilot off. Like when the dentist says, breathe through your nose. Edit. Also the same with fucking. You start thinking, wow, I am actually having sex, then your boner betrays you instead of enjoying the moment. Happens to almost every first-timer. Oh, you fucker. This is totally going to happen to me today now that you've said this. God damn it. It's extra laundry day. Fuck. I have, on 2 occasions, forgotten the word aquarium. The closest I could manage was fish zoo. I forgot hourglass and described it to my coworkers as that sand timer thing. Nobody else could remember the real word until someone Googled it. Then we all felt really dumb. Once while driving I wondered how blind people see the lane divider lines. By using a guide dog. Duh. I forgot my own birthday a few times. Just didn't seem too important till someone asked and I was like, I have 2 kids and a very busy husband. So I'm in charge of all the appointments. Insurance. Pharmacy call-ins and pickups. Lots of things where I have to recite their birth dates. I rarely make appointments for myself. And I have no medications. As of yet. So I recently made an appointment for myself and had to say my birth date. Except what came out of my mouth was my husband's birthday. And I didn't even realize it until she repeated it back to me. No, wait, sorry, I told her. That's my husband. Mine is, and proceeded to tell her my son's birthday. Since my son is 8, there's absolutely no reason for him to see a gynecologist. Obviously his gender is a pretty decent reason not to as well. But it's not like the receptionist knew I was reciting a male's birthday. Just someone from 2010. She didn't even bother repeating it back to me. I only just barely stopped myself from reciting my even younger daughter's birthday next. After a far too long pause, I finally told her my own birthday. The woman on the phone was either very suspicious of me or very amused and trying not to laugh at me. Either way, her voice sounded odd and strained for the rest of the phone call. When I used to work in a pizza place, I once asked a guy ordering over the phone what his credit card number was. There was a pause for a few seconds and he tells me his phone number. When I questioned it, he says, oh, duh, and rattles off his social security number. Same process again and he tells me his birthday. I was so confused, so I just took a deep breath and asked for his credit card number. Apparently the first time I only said card number, so he panicked internally and started reading everything in his wallet. I work in pizza. One time at the end of taking someone's order on the phone, I said, "It'll be ready for you to pick up in about 15 minutes. And he responded with thanks. I love you too. Once I entered the shower, got wet, and then I got so distracted that I came out without actually washing. Had to re-enter the shower. At least one morning out of every 3 I forget whether I've washed my hair yet. I forgot how to throw a ball. An embarrassing moment in my life which my brain will never allow me to forget. An NBSP. In high school I was walking through the local fair with my then girlfriend. We come across a generic throw ball. Hit the stuff, win things booth. The prizes are irrelevant, but who cares? It's something fun to do. An NBSP. So I pick up the baseball and throw it without a second thought. Except I fling it full strength straight into the ground. It was a perfect 45-degree angle throw into the dirt. I'm like, what the fuck was that? It must have slipped. Everyone laughs it off. An NBSP. So I go to throw the second ball. And the same thing happens. I realize that I've completely forgotten how to throw a ball. I'm releasing way too late. Just whipped it straight into the ground. There was less laughter this time. The booth guy looks confused and says, "Don't you know how to throw a ball?" I swear I do. I don't know what is happening. I play catch with my brother regularly. This is insane. And I immediately start to stress out at the situation. An NBSP. The booth guy looks like he feels sorry for me and offers me a third try for free. I have to redeem myself. I don't have to win a prize. I just have to throw a fucking ball to prove to everyone I know how to do it at this point. An NBSP. But nope. Again. Straight into the ground this time. Like I'm spiking a goddamn football. An NBSP. I'm speechless. Someone from the crowd behind me says, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" My girlfriend just looks disappointed. Not because I didn't win, but because it's so embarrassing that I would even try to do this while apparently having nearly indescribably poor motor skills. An NBSP. All I can do is walk away. I have no idea what happened. Nobody believes me that I do in fact know how to throw a ball. This memory haunts me still many years later anytime my brain decides, hey, remember that one time. An NBSP. Edit. Thanks for all the support, guys. Thankfully, just like the post suggested, this was just a temporary brain fart and I never had another issue since. I'm glad you all got some enjoyment out of my horrible day at the fair. This is one of the best so far. Face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy, you poor soul. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.